everyone, this is Becca from Becca's Music Room. I'm a music teacher who talks about teacher tips, teacher life, teacherpreneurs, and all things that might hopefully make your life just a little bit easier. Today we're going to be here with something very, very strange, and that is how I turned my entire shop around in May of 2020, or I guess April of 2020. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share so that you don't miss any in the future. Also, because I'm totally going to announce a free training, so stick around for that. Yes, I'm going to do the annoying thing where I make you wait. Sorry. Also, we are about to have a new Q&A. So if you are interested in having your questions answered, then please leave them down in the comment section or find me on Instagram and send them to me there. If you have any questions, whatever they are, I will be happy to answer them. If there any questions are totally open, this is supposed to be more like Teachers Pay Teachers, but if you have other stuff, then you can leave that as well. So leave your questions down below. Anyway, so if you are watching this sometime in the future and you're like, why would you need to turn your shop around in 2020? Well, because coronavirus. I'm not gonna get into specifics, but basically all the schools in at least this country and most other countries shut down due to an outbreak of the coronavirus. The schools shut down to help reduce the spread of the corona, and that left a lot of teachers in very strange positions. Now, I have a Teachers Pay Teachers shop, which is how this kind of all goes through. So I sell resources for music teachers to use in their classroom. And in 2020, things changed. I was doing really well. We were on track for our best month ever, and then this hit. So in March, we started talking about like, oh, there's this virus and it's going around, and things gradually kind of got a little scarier as things started to close. My school in particular went on spring break, and that week a lot of schools, including my own, announced that they were going to be closed for a few weeks. Those weeks then turned into months, which for my school ended up being the rest of the school year. Now, why is this relevant? Well, a few things. So like I said, I was on track for my best month ever. In February, I made $1,733.69, which was the most that I had made ever. And I was super excited about March. I had all these ideas for how things were gonna be even better and bigger. And the first week or two into March, it looked like it really would be my best month ever. I was really trying to hit that 2,000. That was my goal, is to hit 2,000 in 1 month. Hasn't happened, spoiler, but here we are. And then schools started to close. Now, when the schools closed, a lot of people didn't know what to do. Some schools just completely shut down. Other schools were trying to do things online. Other schools were trying to do packets. And this made things really chaotic, especially for specials teachers like me and like all the people I serve. So like I said, I teach elementary music, and what's the first thing to go when things are crazy? Elementary music. So when people started shutting down, a lot of specialists like music teachers were told, don't give your kids anything, we don't want to stress anyone out, which is totally valid. That left kids without music, that left music teachers with nothing to do, and that left me with nothing to sell. On top of that, I had always focused on printable resources, and I have some things that are PowerPoints, but most of my stuff has always been printable, because that's always what I want, is something that I can print out and I can use. I can print and use for centers, I can print and we can use for subplans, whatever. Point being, I didn't have any digital resources. I didn't even know how to make digital resources. So in March, I was on track to make my best month ever, to finally hit that 2,000. I was hustling, y'all, hustling. And then it was crickets. I would sell nothing some days. Maybe 1 or 2 resources. You know, I had days where I made $5, where I made $2, where I made $0. And that's something I hadn't seen since like summertime. And that was really stressful, especially because I knew it wasn't like my fault. You know, I wasn't the one who closed down all the schools, but I still had to deal with it. So I was like, okay, well, I can sit here and make, you know, no money and have really sad sales and crickets, or I can get off my butt and I can get to work. One guess as to which one of those I picked. If If you've been around for any amount of time, you know that I love the hustle, so I was all about getting down to work. So we're going to talk about a few things that help me get really strategic about turning my store around, and then I'll tell you the actual numbers of what happened, and then I'll tell you about my free training. So let's get down to work. The first thing I did is I started making digital products. I know, you're like, of course you made digital products, Becca. Who would not make digital products when you don't make any money? You know, a couple months ago, that wasn't super obvious. I didn't know how to make digital products, so I really had to play with it and just kind of figure things out. And I was very thrown into it. So I started making videos, which were the easiest for me because I have a YouTube channel. I started making things on Google Slides, which was... Sorry, Siri thought I was just talking to her. I wasn't. I started making things on Google Slides to send to kids. I started making things on Google Slides to use on Zoom. And I even started making boom cards, which are super, super cool if you've never heard of them. It's like making content into games. It's awesome. Anyway, so I started making digital products. I had zero digital products, had no idea what I was doing, but I figured it out. I have actually... Speaking of digital products, I just released a webinar that talks all about how to make digital interactive products that you can sell on Teachers Pay Teachers. So I will put the link to that down in the description. It is free and you can go through and we go step by step into how to make fun interactive products. So in there we talk about how to make things in PowerPoint and stick them into Google Slides so that you're not violating any copyrights, and then how to add in text boxes and videos and drag and drop activities and answer sheets and tag things and just all the stuff. So click the link down below. Back to your regularly scheduled video. So number one was I made a lot of digital products. Number two is that I focused on free things. I know you're like, how does focusing on free things help you make more money? But hear me out. Focusing on being very generous and having a lot of free things helped me to gain a lot of people on email, gain a lot of people on Instagram, helped me to also kind of sell my resources. So what I mean by this is the first thing I offered was a free music tic-tac-toe board that was a choice board, which is what I sent to my kids. Actually, I made it for free for y'all. Then I sent it to my kids when I found out I needed one, and I was like, perfect. Check. So that was the first thing. I put it both in my Teachers Pay Teacher store and also in my email freebies. That way I could direct people to my email list so they would sign up, but then also so that people who were just searching on Teachers Pay Teachers could find it. This helped me gain a lot of followers on TPT, which I don't really put a lot of stock in, but it's still there. And it also helped me build a lot of email people. Now, other free things, because digital is very new to me and probably a lot of other people, I don't know about y'all, but I felt really uncomfortable about using all the digital products. So allowing a free resource or a free video or free, you know, lessons really just help people, I think, get more comfortable with the whole concept of using digital stuff. Now, I also linked a lot of my free things to paid things. So for example, I put out a free video for one of my favorite folk songs, both on YouTube and on TPT. And in the description, I talked about how you can use that along with my Instruments of the Orchestra lessons bundle. And so it kind of just led into that. Different things like that. I also filmed some read alouds, which I put here on YouTube, which I will be taking down because it was only a temporary thing because of all of this and because most of the publishers were getting a lot more lenient. But what I did is I would have a free video read aloud, and then I would have a resource that people would pay for. And that worked out really, really nicely. And I sent pretty much every week, something was free, whether it was a free product or a video or a read aloud, something was free like every week. I got a lot of people emailing me and sending me messages and things like that. And it really helped them to gain trust in me, and it also helped me to sell more of my stuff. So the next thing is I got really strategic. I tend to be one of those like people that have all of the ideas in the world, and I don't have all the time in the world, so I can't make them all happen. Because I know this, I tried to get really strategic with what products I was creating. So for example, I made an Instruments of the Orchestra bundle. So I made a Google Slides activity for each of the 4 different instruments of the orchestra, and I made videos about each of them, and they all kind of go together. You don't have to buy them all together, but you can buy them all together. And so that was one way that I put a lot of effort into one thing, getting really strategic to sell. I also got really strategic with other things. Like I noticed that products that go along with books do really well. So again, you know, you can use my free read aloud, or someone else could film their own read aloud, and then they could do one of the products that I have created. And that's a really easy thing that you can do over distance learning, is read a book and do an activity that goes along with the book. So that was a way that I got really strategic. I tried really hard to not just have things all over the place. And anytime that you are looking to change your store, I would really suggest that you get really strategic with your products. The next thing is that I used my email list. So I sent out free things in like every single email for about 2 full months, which was awesome for people, you know, get lots of free things. It also meant that a lot of people were opening my emails and seeing them, which is really helpful, because just because you send an email doesn't mean people see them. So even though it wasn't like all salesy all the time, they're at least getting used to now reading my emails and them being there. And I saw a higher click rate throughout this whole thing. I also sent something that you could purchase in every email, even if it was just at the bottom, hey, PS, I have X, Y, and Z, and it's new and it's cool. Go check it out at this link. That's not super salesy or in your face, but it is something you can do. So I feel like I really harnessed the power of my email list over the last few months, and that's something that I definitely want to continue with in the future. The last thing that I did is that I didn't go overboard. So that might sound very strange, but I recognized that even though digital was pretty much all that people were buying for the last few months, if we go back to school, things might be different. So yes, I do still think that digital is going to do really well. I think that in general, our schools are going to be much more digital friendly in the future, but people are still gonna want their printable subplans and their printable centers games and things like that. So I didn't want to end up with this humongous bulk of digital products that nobody is buying in November. So I tried to really make sure I didn't go overboard. I'll actually show you how I did this. One way that I did this is something super simple. I just took this notebook. I should show you because it's super cool. It says just building my empire. TJ Maxx. And so I took this notebook, and all I did is I wrote 2020 at the top, and then I wrote each month underneath. And each month I have a number that I want to hit, and then underneath it I just wrote, here are the things that I'm focusing on this month. Why did that help me? It really helped me to wrap my brain around what was going on and what I needed to do in my business. So I started this in like April, and so I just wrote May, and under May I wrote digital resources, video lessons, finished my online course, which is now available. I have a new course all about how to start your TPT shop from the ground up. So if you are brand new and you're watching this, check the link down below. And making Bible resources for my Bible TPT shop. So then under June, it doesn't say make video lessons. It doesn't say make digital resources. It says sell my online course, and it says make YouTube videos, and it says finish product lines and things like that. And then under July, it says finish up my decor pack and come up with a new decor scheme that I can do for that. Little things like that just really help you be less stressed, because I was sitting in April and I was like, I need to do my room decor stuff, and I need to finish all these product lines, and I need to do this and I need to do that, and it was very stressful. And when I realized, okay, here's what I actually need to focus on, it just helped me narrow things down. And I was, you know, in April not thinking about finishing up product lines, not thinking about doing decor things for rooms. I was thinking about, here's what I need to get done right now. Also in May, I didn't put out a lot of resources. I had kind of like a list, and when I got to the end of the list, I just stopped, which is very new for me because I tend to be like, just go, 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 go. So being able to stop at the end of the list was very, very helpful and less stressful. So that's how I turned my shop around in 2020. If you don't believe me that I did turn it around, it's not completely where it was, but you know, it's all good. In February, I said I made $1733.69. In March, I was really trying to hit that 2,000, but I made $962.80, which is really good because again, for a lot of March, I made like nothing, just days and days of nothing. It was so sad. And then in April, I made $1,155.52, which I was quite happy with because I was like, you know what? Hit 1,000, we're good. And it is currently May, it's like the 28th, so I still have a few more days, but right now I'm at $1,011.58. So I'm quite happy with that. It was around 1,000 for each of those 3 months, which is a lot better than nothing. And again, I pretty much had to start over in March is how it felt. Like it was like I had no products, but I have like 200 and something. I was like starting over from the beginning. So I know that we're kind of at the tail end of this whole craziness, but I hope that those are really helpful, even if you are not watching this during coronavirus, but you're watching this later and you need to kind of revamp your shop and just get a little more strategic. That's kind of the main takeaway, is I just got a little more strategic with everything that I was doing in all of my store. So anyway, if you found this helpful, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share. If you have anything you did to turn your shop around, leave that down in the comment section because I would love to continue this conversation. And yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful week.